Most people think low intelligence shows up in grades, IQ tests, or big mistakes. But psychologists say the opposite. Your brain reveals itself in the tiny habits you ignore. And the scariest part, these habits don't just make you look less intelligent. They literally rewire your brain to become less intelligent over magical thinking. Time. Magical thinking. Some people live like luck is in control. They wear the same lucky socks to every exam, avoid cracks in the sidewalk, or swear a color. Brings them money. It seems harmless, even funny, but psychology calls it magical thinking. When your brain confuses coincidence with cause, maybe once you wore those socks and something good happened and now your brain links the two forever. The problem, you're outsourcing logic to superstition. Real intelligence pauses and asks, where's the evidence? Lower intelligence skips that step and builds rituals out of thin air. Chronic sleep neglect. Chronic sleep neglect. You tell yourself you're fine on 4 hours of sleep. You brag about late nights, scroll until 3 a.m., and crawl out of bed like a zombie. But here's reality. Sleep loss wrecks memory, attention, and decision. After one night without proper rest, your brain works like you're drunk. Intelligent people guard sleep like treasure because they know it's their greatest tool. Neglecting it isn't strength. It's self-sabotage. Avoiding time alone. Avoiding time alone. Some people panic at silence. If there's no TV, no music, no background noise, they feel lost. Psychology shows this. Constant need for distraction often signals weak mental processing. Intelligent minds use solitude for reflection and problem solving. Lower intelligence hides from silence because it means facing their own thoughts. If you can't sit with yourself for 10 minutes without reaching for your phone, that's not social. It's avoidance. Living on small talk. Living on small talk. Ever met someone who can talk for hours but says nothing? Weather, traffic, can you believe it's Friday? Small talk is fine as an icebreaker, but if that's all you've got, it signals a lack of curiosity. Psychologists call it low need for cognition, not enjoying real thinking. Intelligent people crave conversations about ideas, not just filler. Confidence without content. Confidence without content. We've all seen it. The loudest person in the room who interrupts, explains things they don't understand, and talks like they're an expert. But when you listen closely, there's nothing there. Psychologists call this the Dunning-Kruger effect. People who know the least think they know the most. True intelligence looks different. It admits, I don't know, and asks questions. Fake intelligence hides behind volume, blindly following instructions. Blindly following instructions. Some people treat rules like gospel. If the manual says screw into thin air, they'll still try. If the recipe says 20 minutes, but the food is raw, they'll eat it. It isn't discipline. It's mental laziness. Smarter people adapt when reality doesn't match the plan. Lower intelligence follows instructions straight off the cliff, falling for conspiracies and superstitions. Conspiracies and superstitions. Flat Earth. Microchip vaccines, planets, ruining your week. Conspiracies feel exciting because they give simple answers to complex problems. But that's the brain taking shortcuts, choosing stories over evidence. Smart minds check facts. Lower minds accept the first explanation that feels dramatic. The danger? Superstitions stop you from solving real problems. Rigid thinking. Rigid thinking. Some people refuse to change. That's not how we do things. They reject new methods, new tools, new ideas. Not because they're wrong, but because they're different. Psychologists call this mental inflexibility. The inability to adapt when reality shifts. Intelligent people adjust. Rigid thinkers stay stuck. And life punishes stuck. Instant gratification. Instant gratification. Why wait when you can scroll, snack, or swipe? Psychology shows constant instant rewards. Train your brain to avoid effort and kill patience. The famous marshmallow test proved it. Kids who couldn't delay gratification struggled. Later in life with money, school, and health. Smart people tolerate short-term discomfort for long-term gain. Lower intelligence grabs every quick fix and calls it living. Poor listening habits. Poor listening habits. Some people don't listen. They interrupt, nod without hearing, or zone out. But listening is intelligence. It forces the brain to process new perspectives and absorb ideas. Poor listeners often have weak comprehension skills. They can't keep up with complexity, so they tune out. Smart minds learn from anyone. Low minds assume they already know everything. Dismissing new ideas. Dismissing new ideas. That's dumb. That'll never work. You've heard it. The reflex rejection of anything new. That's not wisdom. It's mental laziness. Intelligent people may disagree, but they explore ideas first. Low intelligence avoids thinking and chooses the easy path. Dismissal. Doom scrolling and TV addiction. Relaxing with a show or scrolling isn't the issue. It's when hours vanish every single day. Studies show constant scrolling fries focus and rewires your brain to crave dopamine bursts. Smart people balance entertainment with growth. Lower intelligence sinks into endless consumption, letting the brain rot while mistaking distraction for living. Blindly following trends. Every week a new identity. 1 month, it's Nike, next it's Adidas. Last week, it was a TikTok dance in the grocery store. This isn't creativity, it's herd mentality. Psychology shows humans copy others to feel safe. But true intelligence asks, do I even want this? If your personality shifts with every trend, it's not expression, it's emptiness. Gaming without learning. Gaming without learning. All know the gamer who plays every night, but never improves. Hours online, still terrible. The problem isn't the game, it's failure to adapt. Intelligent minds learn patterns, refine strategies, and evolve. Low intelligence repeats mistakes endlessly and blames everything else. Time in doesn't equal growth. Reflection does. The truth is low. Final truth, intelligence isn't about being born, smart or not. It's about the invisible habits you repeat every day. Keep them, and your brain slowly rewires itself to stay stuck. Break them and you'll see. Your thinking, confidence, and even the way people treat you shift almost instantly. Most people will hear this and scroll away back to the same habits that keep them average. But if you're the type who wants to actually rewire your brain and understand psychology at its rawest, then don't just watch, subscribe this channel, because every week I break down the brutal psychology truths that nobody tells you but everyone needs to know.